Hey, good morning, guys. I see a lot of attendees already logged in. So thank you so much for being here. I know it's a weekday. A lot of people must be busy with their daily schedules, but then thank you so much for logging in. Always, it's good to uh, know about more on what's happening in the industry and the industry trends. So welcome aboard. My name is Samit Shetty. I'm the Technical Solution Manager for Autodesk Media and Entertainment Division. I handle India and SAC. And what we're going to talk about today is a lot of things about the changing industry trends and what's new we have to offer to you as a customer so that it fulfills your requirement in just one go. You don't have to toggle between softwares, you don't have to struggle between softwares, and also a cute story between your journey from 2D to 3D in terms of the solution which we provide. So this is just a safe harbor statement, which which we generally portray to show that whatever we're going to talking about, or in case if there is any roadmaps on the products, we don't guarantee that this is going to be delivered in the next version of release, or even if you want to, if you're taking a decision of purchasing any products based on this presentation today, you can think about it once again or have it internal discussions with the Autodesk team and so on. So that's all about the statement. Next is just to quickly tell you that we have some exciting prizes. We'll be sharing a survey link to you guys at the end of this presentation. You should be getting it on your emails, and also at the end during the Q&A session of this presentation, we also be having a poll where there will be some 4 or 5 questions. You guys have to answer it. So if you do this both, you guys are eligible for a lucky draw, which will be done at the end of the entire webinar series. So we are conducting a couple of webinar series on the AC, manufacturing, and media and entertainment. So at the end, which gets over on the 8th of August, or on the 18th of December, this lucky draw will be declared and the winner will be informed. But again, once I want to reiterate that to participate and to be eligible for this webinar, you guys have to fill the survey form as well as answer the poll questions which will be asked at the end of the session. All right. Moving to our presentation this morning, sorry. The whole topic of this session is on the journey from 2D to 3D, and how does it make an impact in your day-to-day activities or day-to-day production life and so on. Now, I know there are a lot of professionals in this session, but there are also some new people who are in this session who are not aware of the complete workflow. Now, I'm just going to talk about something which you already know, which we already know, and that's the importance of workflow. How important is a workflow? So we as a software company, like we used to be always known as software company, we are moving towards a solution company, and that's why we have introduced something called as media and entertainment collection. And what happens in collection is you get a bundle of it's a bundle of products which is not just products bundled together, but keeping the entire workflow in mind. These softwares or these products are bundled together, which will help you move from one stage to another and to another and to another, and then complete the entire workflow. So it's not that you have to depend on different softwares or different products or buy or purchase different products for your workflow. This entire bundle will do a lot for you. So most of you guys are aware of 3ds Max, Maya, and of course Arnold, which I'm going to talk about in my next sessions. But the whole idea to talk about is in this today's session is some hero products which are always unknown or always hidden, which is Motion Builder, MUDBOX, Recap, Sketchbook, and Character Generator. Now, few of you might be aware of these products, but I still want to speak about these to people who are not aware of this, and how will it help you to complete the workflow. So let's understand about the industry requirement or how the workflow is. We all belong to animation industry, VFX industry, gaming industry, or whatever industry we are into, maybe from the entertainment or non-entertainment. We also know that one thing which is very important is planning, or maybe the idea which comes into your mind. And when you have an idea, what we do immediately is write it down on a piece of paper or start drawing it on a piece of paper. And once you design that idea bring it in on a piece of paper or something, then what you do is you start developing it further. And if it's a 2D drawing, then you start converting it into 3D, and then texturing and lighting and animation and so on. So the first thing what is very important is storyboard. Now, why is storyboard so important? We all know that it helps everyone eliminate errors. It no need to think about what are we going to do on sets or when we are in production. It saves time and money, and everyone is on the same page, and that's the reason storyboard has become very important. Now we all know that the storyboard was initially started on a piece of paper, when an artist will use a pen, drawing colors, sketch pens and stuff like that to draw the entire storyboard of any project. Let's talk about Jurassic Park. Now, this is one of my favorite projects, and the best part is the storyboard of this was so close to the film that that is one of the reasons why the film was a big hit. The first part I'm talking about, because the idea was clear when the storyboard was done. So let's have a look at the storyboard animatics. I mean to say, when the storyboard was done, they started editing it or putting it on a timeline with music to know how the film will look like before they get into production. So I have a gist of the actual animatics and the live film. So I'm just going to play that once for you to know how important storyboard is in the production life. So you can see the first shot of the glass where the storyboard is exactly almost similar to the thing which they've designed. This shot of a guy just waking up, and they have the scripts written below. He's also watching things, like seeing things from the rear view mirror of the car. Of course, there are a couple of shots which has been inserted during the edits, which they felt that was very important, but most of the shots were planned in the initial stage itself. I hope you guys can see it real time and imagine the kind of thought process which went during the pre-production stage itself. Look at this. All right, so I'm not going to play the entire the storyboard in the video, because we understood what I'm trying to talk about. Now, the old traditional way of doing this, as I mentioned earlier, was on a piece of paper with pencils, pen, or rubbers, and so on, erasers. Then the trend changed, and now it's digital painting, right? People paint using Vacoms on Photoshop or different softwares. They use it on to do digital painting. Now, it's very important, very handy, and very useful. It saves a lot of time. It saves a lot of it's green, eco-friendly, and you can modify it anytime, and you really don't need to spend a lot of the efforts on erasing stuff and whatever you want to do it, and you can do it layer based, which is not possible on a piece of paper. Now, to complete this ecosystem, we have something in our portfolio which is called as the Autodesk Sketchbook. So Autodesk Sketchbook is a very fantastic product which has its layer based. So you have different brush modules, you have different color palettes, you have different tools like brush, pencils, erasers, everything put together, and it's also layer based, and you can do your storyboarding, you can do your character design, you can do your layouts at ease using this product, and it's a part of the bundle. So let me just do a quick overview of what Sketchbook can do. So I'm just going to play a video, and it's a fast forwarded video so that it helps you to understand what are the possibilities in Sketchbook. As you can see, it's layer based. You can design the front and the side profile of maybe a character or a machinery or a car or whatever you want to. This is the first step towards 3D modeling, where you know that you're going to model a character, you're going to model a machine or whatever it is. You first have a front and a side and a top profile of this object. Then you import it inside 3D to make sure that this is how the profile should look like, and then you start building it. It's obviously, it's not like, there's a button which will convert your 2D to 3D, but you can use it as a reference inside the 3D software. Now this is 3ds Max. It also speaks about some new features inside 3ds Max. I'm not going to talk about that now, because the whole idea is to talk about the other products. So let me just bring it back, and you can do a whole detailed designing. Now we also can use Photoshop, and you can import those data from Photoshop to Sketchbook. Now this is something which was done in Photoshop, and at the same time move those design based stuff into your Sketchbook. So I'm just going to push this in front a bit, and you are back inside Sketchbook, and you can do highlights. So you can mix and match. Obviously you don't need to mix and match, but the whole idea was to talk about how you can do it in other softwares. At the same time, you can do it inside Sketchbook as well, and the level of detailing is fantastic. Now you can see how cool is this 2D design, which was completely designed inside, or done inside the Sketchbook. The other things which people use, like as I already mentioned, that people use it for layout designing and backgrounds and BGs and all, is very easy. A lot of manufacturing customers, like car designers or machinery designers, also use Sketchbook at to the core. Now, I would like to also show one feature of Sketchbook. As I said, we are into the animation VFX industry, and we also know that the storyboarding is also very important. So apart from the layer-based tools, like I'm just going to show you that these are the layers. You can add layers. You have all different overlays. You have transparencies to play around with it, which you can just play around. You have different color palettes, and you have all these different tools here to play around with it. And and you have what you call is different brush strokes, sprays, and all these things which you can it's very simple and easy to, it's self-explanatory. At the same time, you also have tools like mirroring, so that you want to do something like a kaleidoscope effect without copying and pasting it on the other side. You can do it very easily. And you also have these mirroring on both the side. It's not just one-sided. So if ever you want to do it horizontally or vertically, you're good to go with it. The best feature about this I like is it also has a flipbook animation. So for example, I'm just going to say that I want to create a new flipbook animation. I'm going to keep it very simple. We all know what flipbook animation is all about. If you want to create a character and a walk cycle or something like that, you can very easily do it. So for example, in the bottom, if you can see, this one is the timeline and single frame, and here I can draw. Now I'm drawing it on frame number 1. So let's say I am drawing a face. So I'm just creating okay, sorry, I'm very bad with this, so I'm just going to take sorry, let me just draw it randomly. All right, no, I don't want this as well. So let me make a face which has 2 eyes, and it has a beautiful smile, and this is what it is. So this is on the first frame. I'm going to, depends, you know how framing works. Like in animation, you can have 2 frames of the same stuff. So I'm just going to copy or duplicate the same image for 3 frames, so that when I play, it's the same. So on the 4th one, I'm going to add a new image, and what I can do is say that show me the previous one as well. So it's basically showing me the previous frame, so that I know where I had to draw or something. So I'm just going to say don't show me or show me. Let me just hide it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create the head, which is now squashed, and maybe this is the eyes, which is blinked. Okay, please bear with me. I know this is not a super cool drawing, but then the whole idea is to understand what am I trying to do. So over here, if I just want to see how where the image was, or maybe I want to see the reference of the first frame, I can jump on that frame and see how the previous frame looks like. So I'm just going to go inside and say don't show me any reference, and I'm going to create a head which is now on the side profile. And this character is quite surprised. Now what made it surprise is now I have 3 frames for that, so I'm having a total of 9 frames. So I'm just making the time frame to 9, and if I play this, you can see the play button here. So you have the animation of this guy squashing and walking, seeing on the left hand side. So this is how you can create a very easy flipbook animation, learn how animation works, and then do a 2D walk cycle or whatever, a storyboard or an animatics for your future 3D product. So that way is storyboarding and character design and layouts can be done very easily using Sketchbook. Now let's move to the other segment is sculpting. We all know sculpting started long back. People made 3D sculpts on temples, on statues at different for various purposes, and it's very easy. So what we have is a digital tool where you can sculpt and create fantastic 3D models. So I don't want to talk about a lot on MUDBOX, because I have a video to play which will self-explanate what MUDBOX is all about and how to the core of detailing you can achieve your 3D models using MUDBOX. So MUDBOX is a 3D sculpting and digital painting tool, a 3D tool basically, and you can create models inside MUDBOX and import it inside your other 3D products very easily. So I'm going to play this video which will explain how MUDBOX workflow is.
AUTODESK MUDBOX is a digital sculpting and texture painting software that allows artists to create highly detailed 3D models. With an intuitive user interface, MUDBOX is accessible to both traditional and digital artists. If you can pinch clay, you can use the tools in MUDBOX. Sculpt 3D models quickly and precisely using brushes and sculpting tools. Quickly apply details using custom stamps and stencils, or by using the presets within MUDBOX. MUDBOX provides interactive lighting and shadows that enable you to see and develop your work under real viewing conditions. It also offers a powerful tool set for painting diffuse, specular reflection, bump, and other textures across multiple high-resolution maps in your models. Use the intuitive layer editor to easily manage multiple paint layers. MUDBOX has the ability to preview and render your model in real time. The software's targeted display capabilities allows artists to take advantage of real-time shadows, ambient occlusion, depth of field, or other viewport filters for a variety of real-time effects.
Perfect. So this is a very simple example to understand how MUDBOX work and what is the advantages of MUDBOX and what all can you create. So simple thought, imagine you have a character in mind, you draw the character in Sketchbook, you have that character colors, features, everything on paper, like digital paper, and then you start to develop this into 3D. So you can immediately switch to MUDBOX and start modeling it. So that's the advantage of having a bundle and all the products inside the same bundle. Now, we also have a tool which is called as Character Generator, which is also a part of the Media and Entertainment collection. Now, what is Character Generator? Imagine you have a requirement of crowd and you want a lot of people cheering in the stadium, sitting in the background, or maybe you have a walkthrough of a building or a hotel or something where you want people to walk around to make the environment lively. So what you do is generally model characters, and if it's a huge scene and a lot of people, you can't keep modeling characters like 50 characters, 100 characters which are different than each other. The other easiest thing is to download models from the net, but if they are free, the whole disadvantage is that there are so many people who must have used the same model, which is not good. And otherwise you'll have to purchase the model, which will be really, really expensive. So the whole idea is there is a tool called as Character Generator, which is a web-based portal, so which comes along with the same industry collection bundle. So what you need to do is just log into this portal and select whether you want a male, you want a female, or you want an alien. So once you have selected this, you can just go and start creating the modifying the object, because by default you have a character. And what you can do is you select a character and select the features. So you have selected that I want a guy, and I want a guy with this kind of face. So you select that, and once you have that, you start modifying them, because you can select different features from for that guy, and the skin color and the eyes and the nose and the ears, everything can be modified. So here's what we have a mix of two characters, and you have eyes you can modify, you can modify the ears, you can pick the features from some other characters and drag and drop, so that you have a blend of your character between two different characters. So pick and choose from the all different templates which you have, and you can also play around with the skin color, depending on what color skin do you want for your character, which is again unique. The eyes can be changed, the color of the eyes can be changed, the hairstyle can be changed. And not only that, you can also change the body type. So if you want an athletic body, you want a body which is very lean, or you want a body which is average or with a paunch, everything is available by default. So all you need to do is drag and drop and create and customize your own characters depending on your need. So yeah, so you can just modify them depending on your requirement, and at the end, if you have a character made, you can dress them up depending on what you want. If you want a character which will be in office, if you want a character which will be in the park doing the jogging stuff and whatever party wear, you can do that. And also play around with the shoes. So you also have options for its shoes to the footwears, which you can select from the entire template. So what have you done is customize it so much that this is your unique character which you're using. So nobody in the world would have a character like this, because you have customized each and everything. And that's the beauty of character generator. Now, once you have this character generator done, you want the characters to move, right? You want the characters to have bones so that it starts walking, it starts jumping or talking or whatever. You can move that 3D model or download that 3D model and move it inside Motion Builder. Motion Builder is a fantastic tool for animation only. So imagine the tools available for animation, and it's very easy. All what you can also do, it also has some facial rigs for facial expressions and stuff. And the Motion Builder is fantastic tool for motion capture, to import motion capture data and fine tune it and assign it to your models. So we all know that motion capture data is becoming more and more popular, and that's because of the demand of realistic animation. So people who have sensors in their body and capture a motion for a human being or for an animal or whatever, can be imported inside Motion Builder very easily, and that data can be applied to the 3D model which you have, and it's a very fantastic tool. This is an example of Motion Builder. I'm just going to play this video. It will explain in simple example of how Motion Builder works. So you can do a very quick rigging inside Motion Builder, and if you want to have a walk cycle and edit the walk cycle, like you have a motion from left to right and right to left, you can have both of them stitched together so that your character can easily move from left to right. Also, you have some lighting and shadows available on your scene, so that you don't have to render your output always to see how it looks like. So you can also assign your motion capture data to the character, whether it's biped, which is quadruped, or it's like an alien with a very disorganized bone structure. It still can be managed very easily. So guys, after Motion Builder, I have a very interesting tool to talk about, and that's called as Recap, Autodesk Recap. Now, Recap is a very interesting tool, and I've got fantastic results on responses from people who have experienced or seen recap. Now recap is a photogrammetry tool. We all know what photogrammetry tool is all about. If people are aware, if not, then I'm going to quickly explain what photogrammetry tool does. So you can click pictures of a model in all different 360 degrees and then upload to the software. The software will give you a 3D model, which you can use it in any of these Autodesk products very easily. Now, how does it work? So for example, this is a real picture of a statue, which is Nandi statue, which is available outside most of the Indian temple, almost all the Indian temples we all know about. Okay, I just took this as an example. It can be any object, okay, but there are some couple of limitations which we can discuss that later. But all we do is we take pictures, multiple pictures in all 360 degrees. In this presentation I've used only 6, but in reality we must have clicked some 50 to 60 pictures to, and then what happened is in all directions, of course, we upload it on the Autodesk recap portal. And when you download when Autodesk, the recap will stitch all the images, and what you get is this grayscale model ready to download from the portal. Imagine the detail which it carries, and to model this would have taken say about 2 to 3 days, but recap did it in an hour or 2 maximum. And it does not gives you a grayscale model, it gives you with textures. So what you see on the right hand side bottom is the recap output of the images which were captured from the top one. There is no difference at all. It's really very difficult to find out that which one is the actual one and which one is the fake one, fake as in the 3D one. So to give you an example, I just want to show you a real example. I guess you guys can see my screen. I have a statue of Buddha, and this is my office, and I had a Buddha statue on one of the desks. So I just took that and started clicking pictures in all 360 degrees. Okay, if you want to see, you can see in the reflection, I am sitting there in this black t-shirt and trying to click multiple pictures. So this is what I did in all 360 directions. Some pictures from the top view and some from extreme bottom and so on. So once I did that, what I did is imported all these pictures in our recap software. So this is a recap software, and what I can do is I can say load a model. So when the model is ready to be downloaded, you can just download that, and I have already downloaded the model and kept. So let me select this model and show you that this is what I get from the recap model. Okay, oh, this is not the one, so I'm just going to say editor. This was the old one. Yeah. So images and model, this is one. So I'm just going to select this. Yeah. So it's loading the entire scene. If you can see, it also gives me the office area, some tables, some chairs, and some desks. And also you can see some calendar, which is, which was kept on somebody's table. And what I'm in need of is the 3D model, which is in the center. So let me just go inside and edit and say slice, because all unwanted objects can be just moved and sliced on. So we all know there are a lot of 3D artists present in this session. So I'm just going to slice it and remove all the unwanted stuff. So I'm just going to apply this. It's just going to delete all the unwanted stuff very quickly. It's doing the job for me. And once it is gone, let me slice it once again and maybe rotate and remove the objects which are not required on the other side of the plane. Yeah, maybe just randomly. Yeah, this one, and just transform. So this way I can do it for all different angles and stuff which I don't want, like this on the left hand side and the right hand side ones. Move it closely to this area and apply it, and of course I can do it for this as well. But look at the detailing, look at the quality of the details on the textures and the model. Everything is fantastic, and this is ready to be exported. So what I can do is I can export this as an image or export this as a model, as an OBJ, FBX, or whatever. You can also retopologize, as in the texture details can be rebaked, and the size of the textures can be whatever resolutions you want to have it. And once you export it, it is ready to be imported inside softwares like 3ds Max, Maya, or any other Autodesk product. So this is a fantastic tool to capture a model, a live model, without spending money on scanners and stuff. Uh, to be very honest, the Buddha statue was clicked by my mobile phone and not even a DSLR. So it's as easy as you can see. So I spoke a lot about the 2D workflow. I spoke a lot about how you can, create or bring your thoughts inside from your mind to on a piece of paper, and from there how you can take it to another level by creating a model inside MUDBOX. So first we used a tool called a Sketchbook. Then we took that thought to a MUDBOX tool where you created sculpt-based modeling. Then that modeling can be taken inside any softwares. And then if you want characters, instead of modeling characters from scratch, you can import models from a software called as character generator and customize it to a level which you cannot even think of. After that, if you want to animate those characters, you can take this models to the tool called as Motion Builder, which is again a part of the entire collection. And of course, if you want to have a model which is existing in real life, and you want, instead of sitting and creating that model, you can click multiple pictures of that, upload it on Autodesk Recap, and then you can again use it inside your any of the 3ds Max, Maya, or any Autodesk software. So that's a very quick workflow example, or a knowledge sharing which I can talk about on how the media and entertainment collection helps you to move from 2D to 3D without going out of the box, or maybe investing on third-party softwares or plugins and so on. So with that, I would like to kind of pause on my today's presentation, and I will keep it open for question and answers, and also the poll survey. So we have a chat box below. There is something called as questions written here. If you guys have questions, please feel free to shoot. And I can see there are a couple of questions. So yeah, let me take the questions. And meanwhile, I will also shoot the poll questions, which will pop up on your screen. And I'll spend some time, give you some time so that you have enough time to answer it. Okay. Okay. So somebody said cannot see the screen. Okay, can we use green screen? And this is asked by Naveed Deshmukh, but green screen for what is, I am not sure. Can we use green screen? Green screen for what? So if you can just write your question once again in detail, I can answer it. Can we? Yes, we can look at the wireframe or frame mode of the model. If you can just select the object, it can show you the wireframe, but unfortunately I think I have switched off the recap tool. I can switch it on again and this thing. Okay, there is a question from Sachin, and he's asking me, can it be done for MEP disciplines like HVAC, ducting, cape, tray, from images to models for Revit? Images to model. So Sachin, I come from a media and entertainment background. This looks more like an AC question. If you don't mind, you can write an email to me on adding some more details to it, and I'll definitely get back to you on that. One thing which a lot of AC customers have asked is if it's okay if I can click pictures of a small object, but what if it's a big building or a big monument? What you can do is you can use drones to capture pictures in all 360 degrees, or even if you have point cloud data from LiDAR scanners, you can convert that from point cloud data to a mesh. We had this feature in between, which was in beta, and it was quite successful, and we intend to release this again in our forthcoming versions releases. So somebody is asking me with respect, okay, green screen while taking pictures. Okay, Navid, I understand. Not really. You should not actually do a green screen or a blue screen to take pictures of the model. Leave it open, let the background be whatever it is. It is good for the softwares to understand the actual depth and the background constantly changing. So never use a flat background and never do a turntable the thing for the model to click pictures, because the background has to change for the software to understand what's happening, which means it's much more easier. You don't have to invest on a green and blue screen stuff. So while lighting change hamper the mesh creation, yes, if you have a studio light, obviously that light will be applied on the 3D model because the images are capturing that light. So most of the time you can use a flat lighting like a fill light or something like that, so that there are no shadows, and you can then add additional light on in post. And you can also extract UV map for UV texturing editing. Yes, so Mahesh, yes, you can export the model from Recap to Maya and then do the retopology to reduce the mesh size, which is what a lot of people are doing. So somebody like Khurshid Tajan Saudagar is asking, I would like to learn this package. Is there a trial software? Yes, you can go and download trial versions of MUDBOX, Recap, Sketchbook as an individual product from the Autodesk portal. So Recap models ready to incorporate it for render engines used in 3ds. Yes, absolutely. It's just a model which you can render inside 3ds Max and Maya. And trust me, I don't want to take names, but a lot of big Bollywood studios as in VFX house have used Recap for their films, latest films, recent releases. Tutorials are available on YouTube. You can just write Sketchbook video tutorials, Recap video tutorials. You will find tons of videos. Sachin, no, Motion Builder interface does not have, it's not node based like Unreal. It has a timeline and graph editor and things like that to adjust the animation. Pawan says, is it mandatory to take pictures in 360 degrees for Recap? Pawan, I mean, yes, you need pictures from all directions. Okay, if you do not take pictures from, for example, in reality, there was a requirement of a face of a kid, and they had taken pictures of only 180 degrees from all directions, not the front and the side profile. They didn't take any pictures from back, and what you got was the face from the front, and the back was just a rough mesh. So if you don't need the back side or the side, any of the side which is not really important for you, you can skip that part. The Recap model generated are with proper. Okay, let me just shoot the poll. Second one, sorry. Okay, still collecting response, I guess. Good. So a lot of questions answered. If you guys have some more questions, please feel free to connect back to me, or maybe you can write it to us, and then we will definitely get back to you with your questions. We might, I think, at the end when you get surveys, you can reply to reply with your questions, and we will be more than happy to answer you. Just a second, I'll still wait for the poll thing to be done. Okay, very interesting question is, why does Autodesk have so many 3D software instead of bundling everything into one software? Bipin, I understand that, but if you have one software which has everything, it becomes more complicated, it becomes more heavy, and the chances of it not being stable is too high. And there are different people or different teams who are developing these individual softwares. So it's always, I know, I understand your question, but yeah, this is how we generally work. But if you see, we have tried to incorporate a lot of things. Like for example, we have acquired the new render engine, which is Arnold, which is a part of 3ds Max and Maya. It is bundled inside it, but the rest will definitely be out. Okay, I know this not able to click the poll questions. Just give me a All right, I guess the poll is still open. There was some technical hiccups which we managed to fix it. And meanwhile, Eddie is watching from mobile. No issues, Eddie. I think we can connect personally on phone. All right, I'm just waiting for some more questions. Okay, there is one more question. Why Emily collections compared to why Emily collection? So there is Nishita who is asking me why Emily collection as compared to Blender. Okay, it's a question which is against competition or something like that. But I can talk about our product. And okay, what question? Okay, so obviously, M&E collection has it's a bundle which has everything inside it. The other products might also have things which are similar and things which will help you guys. The only advantage, I mean, like out of all the other advantages, we have a very strong developing team. Okay, and it's been proven for quite a long time. People have used it for many years, and so done. We also have a very strong support team. So anything happens, or if you have questions, if you want to know more about the products, or if you get stuck somewhere, the community is huge, and the support team also is there. But yes, of course, if you want to compare it, we don't directly compare with competition. We just want to say that we complete the cycle, and there are softwares which can do most of it. Like even Maya, for example, has a lot of tools, skull-based tool inside Maya, and also tools like motion builder can do, like graph editors and timeline editors are also available inside Maya. So you can do something very quickly inside the same product. You don't have to switch softwares. But the advantage is, if somebody is a modeler and the other person is an animator, you don't have to have two Mayas. You can have one M&E collection where one is using Maya for modeling, or maybe MUDBOX for modeling, and the other person is using motion builder for animation, and the other one is using Maya. So one license can be opened up and 3 people can do the job. That's the advantage of having an M&E collection over the other single products, which is difficult. I guess I answered the question. So how far, people is asking, how far is MUDBOX used in VFX project, written quality models, does support high resolution instant feedback? What is your opinion to compare? Okay, again, Mahesh, I really don't compare softwares. The advantage is MUDBOX is handy. I'm like, it's very easy, user friendly, and of course the other product is also good. I'm not denying with that, but there is a very good workflow between Max, Maya, and MUDBOX. Like, you can just ask MUDBOX that open this file in Maya, it will just randomly open, and there is a live link between MUDBOX and Maya. Files can be easily moved without exporting and importing inside 3D Max and Maya softwares. And at the same time, if you have a collection, you're not investing on another software by adding more money to your pipeline. So it's a part of the collection, right? So if there is something which is similar, if two products are similar but one has an additional cost and one does not, it's always good to have a software which comes free with the bundle. The other thing is, yes, MUDBOX is also used by a lot of Bollywood and Hollywood movies. Like, I don't know whether I'll be able to name the studios because I need to take concerns from them. But today I'm in Hyderabad presenting in the VFX Summit. And if you go and check, we have a session today at in the VFX Summit, and the person, the customer who's talking along with me, they use MUDBOX for international projects. Cool. So I guess we are on time, and I'm sure the polling questions are also done. Okay, last question. Balakrishna is asking, how many number of photos important to recap? So Balakrishna, it also always depends on how much is the detailing which is required in the model, or the model, how simple that model is. But approximately, like in the case of this Buddha statue, I took some 50 to 60 pictures from my mobile phone. Sachin, yes, there may be some future prospect on live linking between Revit to Max and Maya. Of course, there is a very good integration between Revit and 3ds Max. I may try to show it in my next webinar, where I'm going to talk a lot about 3ds Max and Maya. So thank you so much for your question. I will definitely try to include this workflow in my next presentation. So I'm just pausing for a while to check if the poll has been complete, and I can then see you in our next session. No, Mahesh, Sketchbook does not have have a link to integrate 2D blueprints into Maya and Max. Of course, you can import it like a JPEG or PNG or something inside as a background image, but there is no live link as such. Cool. So thank you so much, guys, for being a part of this webinar. It was really great to have you and stick around till the end of the presentation. And as I said, thanks all of you guys who have been asking questions and shown interest. I'm really very excited for the next session, which is going to happen on next Thursday, which I guess is the 28th of November. And till then, I would really appreciate you guys filling up the poll questions. And remember one thing, you will also receive an email link for the survey form. Please do fill in so that you will be eligible for a lucky draw, which will happen on the 18th of December. So till then, thank you so much, guys. Take care and see you soon.